All right, so let's learn more about what this National Toy Hall of Fame. At first, the article says, we all have toys from our childhood that were hard to part with. Was there a toy that you ever really missed out or you really miss right now?
Well, yeah, now I used to have a lot of Lego. I loved Lego, and I had many different kits, many different pieces. I gave it away to some friends, and I'm happy about that, but oh, if I could have that Lego back now. First, it would be fun to play with, and second, it might be worth a lot of money. So if you have some really good toys from your childhood and they're in nice condition, they still look new, hold on to them.
Yeah, they could be worth a lot of money.
Absolutely, and it's also just a good way to remember your childhood.
Exactly, and childhood is a noun and it means the early stages of development, human development. So usually it's the age of from when you're a baby to maybe when you're a young adult.
When you're a child.
When you're a young adult, it's just like maybe 12 or 13 years or up. Yeah. So for example, we can say Angela spent her childhood in Taiwan and then moved to Canada at the age of 15.
Okay, so from that we can guess she was probably born in Taiwan, went to kindergarten and early school in Taiwan, but then around the teenage years she might have gone somewhere else. And if you say goodbye to someone, be it your friend like Angela who leaves the country, or a toy or something like that that you give away or something, we can use this phrase to part with something, to be apart or to separate from something. That is to part with something or someone. You can part with a friend or a loved one, and I'll miss you, be careful, I'll see you next year. As Shakespeare said, parting is such sweet sorrow. Saying goodbye is parting with someone, basically. That's all you're doing. But we can also use it for things too, right? You might part with some of the things that you used to have when you were a kid as you get older or as you don't use them anymore. So yes, childhood, toys, and parting with them can be sad. However, the article continues, there's one place where the best toys can live on forever.
Really?
Wow. And that's kind of what museums are good for. They're allowing us to enjoy things and to see that they live on forever. That's just another word of saying they continue living, or they're continually around us. They don't go away. They're still there. They're still remembered. They're still enjoyed. So, where do we go to the National Toy Hall of Fame?
All right, the article tells us it's the National Toy Hall of Fame in Rochester, New York, U.S. Rochester.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I've never been. So it's quite interesting. All right, when we talk about something national, it means that it's related to the country, the nation, or basically the federal government. Okay, it's an adjective. And for example, we can say October the 10th, which is double 10th day, is a national holiday in Taiwan.
For the whole country.
Yep.
And that means that this Toy Hall of Fame, even though it's in the state of New York, it actually is for all of America. Now we should point out, because some people don't realize, New York is a state as well as a city. So when you go to the big city with the museums and the Statue of Liberty, that's New York, New York, or New York City, New York. But the state actually is very, very big, and a lot of it is very beautiful with small country towns and forests and lakes and mountains, and that's where you'd find Rochester. So it's actually probably a few hours from New York by car, so just in case you want to visit. Anyway, so one of the things that we talked about there is the name. It's the Toy Hall of Fame. What is fame?
Fame here is a noun and it means being famous or to be famous. You are recognized by other people. That means you're a public figure. For example, we can say, Lady Gaga rose to fame with her hit song, Poker Face.
Wow, very interesting. So, let's say we go to Rochester, New York, and we reach the National Toy Hall of Fame. What would we find in there? Well, it says 57 different toys are currently on display in the museum, and more are being added every year. Wow, so it's probably quite a new museum, which would be cool, but it says 57 different toys are currently there, all right? When we use this adverb currently, we basically mean right now, at this moment in time, okay? So in the future, it might be a little bit different. Things might change, but right now, that's what we're talking about. If you're watching the news, for example, or reading the news, you're reading about things that are important currently, right now. Not history, not in the future. Things could change, but right now, currently, these are the big stories around the world. For example, we could say, I am currently living in Taiwan, but before I lived in Canada. So right now I'm in Taiwan, but before it was a little bit different. Now, how does a toy become famous enough to get into the Hall of Fame? I was actually a little surprised that there are only 57 different toys, because there's thousands of toys, but then I realized this is a toy hall of fame. It's not a toy museum. These are the most famous, most greatest, most popular toys around. So how do you get your toy into the Hall of Fame?
Let's figure out what makes a toy become that. So in the article it says, in order for a toy to receive the honor of being in the Hall of Fame, it must meet certain guidelines. So yes, it has to follow certain rules. So that's basically what guidelines are. They're like a set of rules or guides for people to follow. For example, if you play the game Monopoly, there are guidelines for playing this game.
Kind of like rules. Okay, very interesting. First, it says the toy, must be widely known and respected. So if it's a toy that was only popular in one country, or a toy that a lot of people didn't really think was safe or something like that, it probably won't be in there. So if you had your own favorite toy from your childhood and it's not in there, don't feel bad. It just means that you had slightly different tastes. So these are really popular toys, all right? What's the second guideline or second criteria?
The second guideline says it must not be a part of a passing fad.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because it has to be something that is very, very popular for, I guess, longevity
many
as well,
years,
for many years.
Right.
Yeah, because a passing fad, a fad is something that is very, very popular right now. For example, Pokemon Go was a huge fad last year. It was very popular at that certain time, but it slowly died down a little bit. Not too many people played it, so maybe the game Pokemon Go would not be able to go into the Hall of Fame.
Interesting, or Beanie Babies or Furby or things like that that were super popular 10 years ago, but now most toy stores won't even have them. So it's gotta be a toy that's a little more important than that. And third, it has to kind of be a healthy toy. It says it must help children learn or think creatively. So I imagine like machine guns and things like that probably won't be in there. Those are seen as not really teaching kids anything too good. So it's kind of got to be a good toy. I guess Lego's probably in there.
I think Legos will definitely be in there. Or maybe Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, a special drawing toy. Yeah, you can be creative. You can make new things as a kid. It's not just about breaking or killing bad guys. Okay, what's the last thing?
Last, it says it needs to have been original and changed how toys were designed.
Wow. Okay, so it has to be a very unusual and special toy, and it also has to be important in some way. Interesting.
Tough guidelines. Original is an adjective, and it means the earliest form of something. Then, copies of it can be made. For example, we can say the original Barbie doll was created in the 1950s. So that means the first Barbie doll was made in the 1950s, and the years after that, many different kinds of Barbies were copied and created.
Okay, well, these very difficult guidelines, I'm starting to understand why there are only 57 toys in this Hall of Fame. It's not easy to get in. So let's check out some of the toys that are in the Toy Hall of Fame. It says among the toys in the museum are... Yes!
Your favorite!
High five.
Lego.
Lego's in there. The building blocks, of course. Board games such as Monopoly. Okay, yeah, that's been around a long time. Barbie dolls are in there.
My
Sure.
favorite.
You gotta sell millions of them and you'll definitely be in there. And here's a good one, Mr. Potato Head. That's been popular for a lot longer than people would expect.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I think of the
so.
plastic one, but I think the original one, you got a real potato and just stuck the eyes on it. So it's been around a long time. Is it educational?
I don't know. Well, it's maybe creative.
It's definitely creative and it's most definitely fun.
A board game is a type of game that you play on a board. There are pieces as well. For example, a lot of classic board games that we have are Monopoly or Scrabble. Right, so besides board games and Legos and Barbie dolls, the article then says there are also classic toys such as marbles, bicycles, checkers, and chess.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know bicycles could be considered as a toy,
I
but
guess they
yeah.
should definitely be in there. And marbles, checkers, chess, some of those games are hundreds of years old. I mean, I know Roman kids used to play with marbles thousands of years ago, so those should definitely be in there. Some of the toys in the museum, this is a good point. Some of the toys in the museum are not even toys, including the stick and the cardboard box. You know, if you watch kids around the world, maybe in poor countries or kids, you know, who lived hundreds of years ago, yeah, they didn't have Monopoly or Barbie or Lego, but kids are fun-loving little animals. So they will go around and basically turn anything into a toy. A stick could be a magic wand. It could be a sword. It could be anything you imagine. And personally, I know my cardboard boxes, airplanes. I used to draw airplane stuff inside the cardboard box and just sit in it. I mean, I had other toys, but cardboard boxes are fun.
they were. I made mine into a spaceship.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So you can be very, very creative with just simple things.
Even more creative, actually.
Yeah.
Than some toys.
All right, next the article says, still, children have used both these items creatively over the years to make toys for themselves. So just like me and Mike, we were very creative when we made very fun toys out of these simple objects that we see every single day.
Absolutely. Even the best toys get boring sometimes, so kids look for other ways to have fun. After all, as the article says, toys are just a tool for children to use their imagination. Toys are just a thing that help kids bring their imagination out. If they don't have this toy, they'll find that toy. If they don't have any toys, they'll turn something else into a toy. Kids are cool.
Yeah.
Toys are awesome. And the Hall of Fame for toys sounds like a great idea. All right, we'll take a short break, then we'll be back to wrap it all up.